wow. I mean, I don't know what to say. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a few weeks since I've posted a video, but I have been traveling. I've been on the road, California, Memphis, Birmingham, Alabama. We've been just about everywhere. But it is so good to be back out on the bike, and as you can see, what I'm hoping was, it's supposed to be mostly cloudy today and very warm. There's no rain in the forecast, but I'm having a hard time believing it looking at the sky. But that's not going to stop us. We are headed to Boswell Harley Davidson because I've been doing some thinking on all this traveling that I've been doing. I've been thinking about what I want to do with the Street Glide, and if you've seen some of the other videos, you know I've considered trading this motorcycle. I've considered selling it outright, getting the 2024, even maybe getting a road glide. But I think where I've settled in is I love this motorcycle, and I think I'm going to keep this bike and build it kind of the way that I want to. And in a previous video we had talked about some of the different options of building this bike out, and then over traveling over the last 3 weeks, I've really decided that well, let me put it this way. I decided instead of doing what I think everybody thinks you should do, I think I'm just going to do what it is that I want to do. And I kind of figured out the things that were important to me on this bike. So the first thing that I want to start with is the exhaust. Now, as I kind of said in a previous video, I'm not really trying to build a performance bagger here. I'm really not concerned about the performance. I really want this bike to be set up more for longer haul riding and some things like that. I just rode it to Memphis and back the other day, about 500 miles. And that, I think, I'm almost positive that's the longest and most miles I've put on this bike at one time in one ride. And it was all interstate. So I really was able to dial in and go, okay, some of the things that you think are important are not actually as important when it comes to the functionality and actually riding the motorcycle. So the first thing I want to tackle, well, the first two things I want to tackle are exhaust and suspension. Because after that 500-mile ride the other day, I was like, okay, suspension is a must. I've got to have a softer suspension, especially if I'm going to be doing on this bike what I want to do, and that is taking longer trips, going to some of the rallies and doing some things like that. And I would most definitely ride this bike long distance over the Pan America. Not that you can't, but it just, to me, it's a little more comfortable. And we've got Buster and Saddleman are sending us new road sofa seats, or a road sofa seat for this bike, but they're also sending us their Pan America seat. We're going to put those on. That'll help with the comfort. But then I go back to suspension. So we're going to run up to Boswell Harley Davidson, and we're going to take a look at some different suspension options. But the other thing that I think I want to do is, when it comes to the exhaust, I think what I want to do is, instead of doing a full exhaust swap, because again, I'm not really that focused on the performance. I'm not really worried about increasing the performance, again, because this is going to be more my long haul bike, if you will. So we're going to take a look at some slip-ons and see, you know, which direction we want to go, because I do want a little bit different sound, lower, deeper rumble, more of a, you know, that sound you think of when you think of a Harley Davidson bagger. And I've been doing a lot of research, and the way that I think I'm going to go is we're going to take a look at the Chromeworks 4.5-inch slip-ons, and I think that's the way we're probably going to end up going. But we'll see. So we're going to head up there. We're going to take a look at that. Plus, we're going to take a look at some suspension options. Boswell is carrying a new Italian suspension that I'm anxious to take a look at, and the name slips me, but we'll put it in the video for sure. But we're looking, you know, you've got Legends, you've got Öhlins or Öhlins, however you want to pronounce it, and then you've got this brand. You've got others out there as well. But we're going to kind of take a look at all of them and see exactly what we want to do with the Street Glide, because after that ride, that 500-mile Interstate 40 ride the other day, I knew I have to do something about the suspension, because that was not pleasurable. And supposedly on the 24s, Harley has increased and done, you know, set up the suspension different, has completely different suspension on it, and stock is way better than previous years. But we don't have a 2024, we have a 2021 Street Glide Special, so that we're going to keep. So let's go check this stuff out and see what we think is going to be best for this bike. All right, so we went in, we talked to Mike, we talked to Bubba, and we decided that the Chromeworks slip-ons are the way to go. So we're gonna go the slant 4.5-inch Chromeworks slip-ons. And Bubba was telling me if it's too loud, that we can do the different baffles. And I told him being too loud that's not gonna be a problem. So we're gonna run inside, we're gonna check out them putting on these slip-ons on the Street Glide. I gotta be honest with you, I'm really excited about it. I also think while we're here, we're going to go ahead and attack the suspension problem and go ahead and have Legends adjustable suspension put on the bike. Let's go check it out. All right, Mike, tell me how much better this is going to ride and how much better it's going to sound.
Phenomenal, night and day difference. 100%. Glad you're finally doing it.
Me too. It took some convincing. I kind of wanted to do the whole full exhaust thing, but then like I told you, it's like I'm not building a performance bagger.
Right.
So I really wanted just better sound, better riding.
Right.
This is gonna do it, I think.
Make sure, yeah. And the Chromeworks have that deep tone,
yeah,
but not too over loud, you know? So
yeah.
On your long trips, this should be called like the day trip that I should do something, you know?
Oh, there you go. There's the new Boswell Harley Davidson day trip package. Words can't simply express how anxious I am to hear how different this is going to sound and how different it's going to ride with the new Legends adjustable suspension and the Chromeworks 4.5-inch slanted slip-ons. It's going to sound pretty awesome. We're just about done. Wow. I mean, I don't know what to say. The Chromeworks new mufflers, oh man, absolutely love them. You can really hear a significant difference, and that's what I wasn't sure of. Can you really tell a big difference over the stock with just doing the slip-ons? And the answer to that question is most definitely yes, you can tell a difference with that lower rumble. Definitely louder for sure. Absolutely love it. And then, like Mike was saying, if we ever want to come back and do a header pipe, we can always come back, do a header pipe, throw in the Thunder Max tuner. We can still do all that stuff with still having just done the slip-ons. And I can already tell you, the Legend suspension is simply amazing. I mean, just going over those bumps right there, I mean, now I'm intentionally looking for potholes and bumps to go over to test out the suspension, because it is that much better. It's shocking how much better it is. But the real test is going to be getting my wife on the back when we ride two up and seeing if she can really tell a difference in how the bike rides back there, because we did the fully adjustable system So if it's still a little too stiff, we can turn a knob and boom, we can have softer. I think right now we've got it set on 3, which is kind of right halfway in the middle. So we can go more aggressive if we want. We can also go softer if we want as well. I'm thinking by the time now that we've done the Legend suspension and Saddleman gets us the new road sofa with the backrest for this motorcycle, I can't imagine it being any more comfortable to ride than what it will be at that point. It just already blows me away with how much more comfortable it is to ride with just the Legend suspension. What we're going to do is we're going to head back to the house. We're going to grab Stacy, and then we're going to go out for a ride through Leaper's Fork. Beautiful day. Maybe stop and get some coffee. Really put this new suspension and the new mufflers to test. And then I'll kind of give you a wrap up and give you my overall thoughts once I've put a few more miles on the bike this afternoon. Maybe, I don't know, maybe about 100, 125 miles. I'll really report back. And I'll come back and tell you exactly what I think about the suspension, what I think about the chrome work slip-ons, and we'll wrap the video up. Okay, so it's been a few days now since I added the Legend suspension on the rear and the Chromeworks 4.5-inch mufflers, slip-ons. I got to tell you, and I didn't want to just like get off the motorcycle from having everything installed and just talk about how wonderful it was. I really wanted to give it a few days to see exactly what I thought about it, put a little bit more miles on the bike, and have a little bit more time with it before I really dove into telling you what I actually think about it. But I got to tell you, after this has been, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 days, I've ridden the bike, maybe another couple 100 miles. And what a difference it makes. Let's start with suspension. The Legend suspension on the rear it's a game changer. It makes me feel kind of stupid for waiting so long to actually get it done and do it. If you're one of those people out there and you're thinking you've got a bagger and you've got stock suspension and you're kicking around the idea of, is it really worth it? Can you really tell a difference? Hands down, 100% yes. I think it's by far my favorite upgrade I may have ever done on any motorcycle whatsoever. It is a night and day difference. I noticed that my back and my ass don't hurt anymore when I get off from riding the bike. It doesn't matter how far. Maybe I'm just going 25, 50 miles. Maybe I'm doing 200. It doesn't matter. It lightens the load on your body so much. I cannot recommend it enough. And Legends, you guys make an awesome product. Not sponsored. I paid for it. Thank you to the guys at Boswell Harley Davidson for hooking me up and installing and doing everything. But listen, suspension, if you're even on the fence, do it. You will not regret doing it. I currently have mine set right in the middle. So I could go stiffer if I wanted to. I could go softer if I wanted to. My wife got on the back and we went for a pretty lengthy ride. And even she said, this is a world of difference. She goes, bumps and railroad tracks and potholes. I mean, they would damn near kill you before. But now, she said, as a passenger on the back riding 2 up, she said it's actually comfortable. It's not just manageable, it's actually comfortable. So Legend suspension, most definitely. Feel free to check out other brands. I did, but I decided that I wanted to go with Legends because everybody that has ever done Legend suspension talks about how great it is. So that's the reason I went that way. And I'm so glad that I did. All right, let's talk slip-ons. Like I had said in this video and other videos, I had debated so much. Full exhaust, slip-ons, what are you going to do? I decided against the full exhaust because I'm not really trying to build a performance bagger with this bike. I just wanted the sound that I wanted. And I have to say the Chromeworks 4.5-inch slip-ons, they do the trick. They give you that deep Harley rumble that you really want to hear. It's not overpowering so that when you ride long times, you kind of get that, you know, that rumble that gets stuck in your ear. Doesn't really provide that for me, but I love the way that it sounds when it's idling. I love the way that it sounds when you give it some gas and you're going down the road. It sounds like a Harley Davidson. So a lot of different brands out there I considered. I'm not going to say anything bad about any of them, but I decided to go with the Chromeworks, and I'm really glad that I did. So these two upgrades, you could say minor upgrades. Some may say major upgrades. I couldn't be happier. Upgraded suspension and upgraded doing the slip-ons. So glad that I did it and don't regret either one of them for a second. I don't know what's going to be next for this bike. Honest to God, what I'm really thinking about is doing Legend suspension on the front. That very well may be the next thing that we do to the Street Glide. So, but real happy with the slip-ons, real happy with the suspension. So again, if you're on the fence, get off the fence and just suck it up and go do it. You will not regret it. And it makes riding your motorcycle even that much more enjoyable and that much more fun. And just go do it. That's my word to you, is just go do it. Anyway, more stuff to come. We've got a lot of off-road stuff coming with the Pan America and even some big rides with the baggers and other stuff like that. So stay tuned. Make sure that you like this video. Hit the thumbs up button. It goes a long way with the YouTube algorithm. Lets them know that you like the content, and maybe they'll serve it to you even if you're subscribed. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button, and then select all so that you are letting YouTube know that you actually want to be notified. It's getting hard out here, I'm telling you. But if you would like the video, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section. What do you think? Have you done something different to your bike other than Legend suspension or the Chromeworks? Put what you've got down in the comment section. I'd love to hear about your experience and some of the builds that you guys are doing on your bikes as well. That's going to do it for this video. Guys, I will see you in the next video. Until then, ride safe.